So I'm sitting with Kyle. Kyle's one of the producers of Tomb Raider, and we are actually in a sort of a top secret behind the scenes area that somehow we tricked them into letting us come see. So Kyle's going to show us some stuff that people haven't actually seen yet. So tell us a little bit about where we are and what's going on with Tomb Raider.
Yeah, we're following the story of a young origin Lara Croft. She's 21 years old on her first adventure. She's found herself shipwrecked on this island, and we've picked up about 40 minutes into the game. She has acquired a bow by this point in time, a signature weapon. She's figured out how to use it by actually going hunting, and she's about ready to make contact with one of her friends from the ship that she does not yet know is alive.
Awesome, let's see it. It's really impressive to me with the animation and the mocap. Like, you can tell in a cutscene that she clearly doesn't trust this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just in her body language,
Yeah.
and in her facial expressions. It looks like you actually invested something into the story.
Yeah, I think it's important to get all three actors together at the same time. So we worked with Noah, our creative director and crew, and actually had all of them together in the same place, working through it. All of them are aware where the other actors are, and it starts to come through. Not only the subtlety of the characters, but the lines between them on whether or not they're just communicating mistrust.
This is a really good example of where I see games going, where games are more of a story-based experience where you're involved in a film that you can sort of like nudge things a little bit one way or another. Usually it's like, here's a thing that blows up and here's a thing that we do, but to actually get a sense of like what's going on here is really cool.
Yeah, it's really been a blast to sit behind closed doors and show the game. We're showing off about 30 minutes of experience, highlighting a few key kills, allowing you to see her character arc in play. Our team spent so much time focusing in on basically woman versus nature. What does that look like, right? There's no OSHA out there to make sure all the nail heads are hammered into the board so you don't scrape yourself. She is forcing herself through this world, and she's suffering the consequences of those actions.
You know, I kind of remember the very first Tomb Raider, where it was very clean and I was sort of running and being acrobatic and being a badass, but this seems like in tone that this is, it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit more threatening.
Yeah, it's a hostile world, right? Like, she could think that everything's very clinical, and then when you go from the textbooks to the actual application of what does it mean to find a civilization, you realize that they're not excited to have friends, right? They're not looking for that, right? And as you start to go through this gameplay, you learn that there can be a beautiful marriage of not just survival-based gameplay, not just, hey, I'm out there having desperate combat situations, but I'm learning a lot about why, the motivation going into this. And that's the engaging part for our team.